Hey Tom, greetings and good evening from Marple. How are you?
I'm good, Jamie. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. I'm happy to finally
Can you
have
see
this
me okay?
conversation. I can see you perfectly, man. You look great.
Is it too dark over here?
Maybe a little bit, but it's not too
All
bad.
right. Hang on. I'll move somewhere where the view's better. Here. How about this?
There we go.
Okay, good.
Crystal clear.
So you're watching me recline on the sofa here, and we're
Excellent.
listening to Brahms. And do you have any idea why we're listening to Brahms?
No, Tom, why are we listening to Brahms here?
Well, it's interesting. Today, when I was coming into work, I my thoughts went back to Halloween, and I had a great time. Did you notice how the weather was perfect? The
Oh, yeah.
weather was autumnal. It
Oh,
actually became
nice word.
autumn, autumnal, autumnal. But I like to say autumnal because it makes me sound so much more intelligent than I really am. Anyway, so I put on Brahms tonight because we were talking about music before, and when it's autumn, when it's like tonight, it's cold out, it's going to rain tomorrow. I love this weather. I was born in North Vancouver, and
Mhm.
I love it.
Excellent. So was
It's,
I.
it's evil and nasty outside, so you put on Brahms, which has all of this, what the Germans would call Abendschein, which is the reflected
Abendschein.
glow, the reflected glow of light in the evening. They have a lot of words like that are autumnal
Uh-huh.
words. Evening shine, we would say,
Now, Tom, just
right?
1 second. I need to practice my pronunciation. Is it? Well, how did I say that German word again?
Abendschein.
Abendschein.
Yes,
Okay.
but my pronunciation is probably not as good as you think.
Well, I've got
So,
a German-speaking friend who, if she's watching this at some point, she will hopefully chime in and leave a little comment. Let us know. Anyways,
that's right.
continue.
Well, anyway, Brahms, to my mind, especially the choral works. The last time we talked, we made some references to a couple of classical musicians, Mozart and Beethoven specifically, and about classical form. And I told you after Beethoven, classical form was finished, and a lot of people say that, but it's not really true.
Okay.
Classicism never dies. And what you do get after Beethoven, a couple of decades later, is Brahms expanding the classical style in a way that his predecessors really couldn't really have thought of, right?
Okay. Now,
It
Tom, I must
it's
interject here.
romanticism was coming to me. Yeah.
I must interject. What's your background as far as music?
Oh, well, I'm a classically trained musician. That was my B. A is actually a B muse, right? So that was the music is sort of the first thing that I took seriously in my life.
Okay,
See, and
so
if you study hard and get your B muse, you too can become an English teacher.
okay, enough with the English teacher bashing. I'm one of them. Now back
Yes,
to
aren't we
Brahms
all?
and the autumnal
Yes.
music selection.
Well, this is autumnal. I think. Okay, first of all, it's written in a classical style. The form is classical, so it will remind you a lot of church music if you listen to it. Let me
Okay.
turn it up a bit. Like if you heard this, you'd think Catholic church choral music, maybe from the Renaissance.
Yes, I would.
Until,
It's
and then
beautiful. Beautiful.
what you'll hear though is that the harmonies go a little bit beyond that. Now, really, it looks more back to the Renaissance,
Okay.
or even like the really early Renaissance. I mean, like 1325 or so. More than and so, what it does is it takes the harmonies from this time and it rests them in a classical framework. So
Okay.
he brings together two kinds of music. So people at the time said that Brahms had redefined classical music, which I don't think is necessarily true,
Okay.
but his composing is remarkable. You hear this music, and he's known for his symphonic works. This is unaccompanied choral work.
Okay. Now, Tom, last time you made me guess the instrument, and it was an accordion, I believe.
Yes, well, that
Do you
was
have
a
that piece? It was
realization.
quite nice.
It's a realization of Brahms. What we'll do is we'll hear just he does the Goldberg variations on accordion. This is quite amazing.
Okay.
We'll just play a little bit of the aria and then we'll flip through a couple of them so you can
Mm-hmm.
hear how he does some of the variations because it's
Okay.
quite impressive.
Okay.
So this is the aria. Okay, now you hear the notes come a little late sometimes.
Yes. Yeah.
It's because it's a squeeze box. It's just like a portative organ would have sounded 500 years ago.
And very opposite compared to Latin music, which usually has a push, which is a note before the beat.
That's right. You know what? In the West, we are all 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, maybe a little bit on 3, but it's very lockstep. We are quite rigid. I know Dr. Freud would probably have something to say about this style of composition. So let's go on to the first variation.
Okay. There we go.
Doesn't that just... Can't you see fawns bolting through the woods? It's all wonderful. Yeah, I think this was a Protestant. Listen to how happy it is.
That's nice.
Clearly a very gifted accordionist. His name is Denis Patkovich. Found him on iTunes at the advice of a friend, and I mean, so it's said, you've probably heard something about this. People have written of the effect of listening to Baroque music while you study. Because of the regularity of the tempi, it is said that you remember things better.
And the beats per minute, I
don't know
believe.
if it's true.
I believe it's the tempo. Yeah, 60. That's right. Yeah. I've found good results with that. I know when I'm studying or doing some meditation or something that is quite optimal.
Yep. Well, what we're hearing right now, I would have to put on very softly or not at all in the background if I were trying to meditate. The piano version, I have the same one that everyone does. It's the Glenn Gould version that came out in 1983, I think, when he died. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing recording, but because it's piano, the sound is quite uniform. Okay. And so, but with the accordion, you're getting all of these overtones, the richness of the reeds, and it seems to even have the effect of a church organ, which has like 16-foot pipes and then little tiny, 2-inch pipes tweeting, It's quite effective.
Okay, now Tom, if you're quite experienced in classical music, obviously. For a newbie, someone who has heard about it, would like to get started in listening to it, I don't know, what would you suggest? Where to begin? Do you think iTunes is a good place?
iTunes is an excellent place, I think. But the other thing is, before you get anything, like they allow you 30-second sample listenings, which is very good. Okay. Because it does give you a bit of an idea. The thing is, choose what it is you like. I mean, you must know a little something already. I wouldn't jump in and buy Beethoven's 9 symphonies and try to listen to them, because they go to places that are hard to follow. Okay.
What was that? What was that quote you said? You said, was it Beethoven? I can't remember. You said about going to different countries.
Yes, he didn't. It wasn't quite like Shakespeare. He wasn't saying the undiscovered country, but he said, I go to other countries that there's something. In German, it goes to strange lands or distant lands, strange countries, foreign countries, right? That I can't explain to you, but I can show you. Right, so you
through the music.
Yeah, and he, as I said, he was the first one that we know of that ever referred to himself specifically as an artist, rather than a composer, pianist, or.
Was he crazy? I mean, other foreign lands? Was he talking about space or different dimensions? What's your best guess?
Beethoven was a very practical, down-to-earth man. He had a temper. He did a lot of things he probably shouldn't have, but he was a simple man, and I think his meaning is plain. Okay. I think his meaning is plain. I think it's just that classical form has not gone here. I'm going to show you what I see, and you can't. I know you can't see it, and I'm going to show you. Excellent. That's all.
That's beautiful.
Beethoven probably suffered from being too sane. I mean, he was a leftist. He was a Republican in Germany.
Okay,
Napoleon usurped the French Revolution, and so his symphony, Third Symphony, called Bonaparte at the beginning after Napoleon Bonaparte, he crossed it out and renamed it.